Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Grigsby's War in the East. So, we have had a decent turn, actually. Not a bad turn at all. One that surpassed my expectations in regards to just when I reached the Romanian border. I was not confident of that. I was very, very skeptical I would be able to pull that off. And, frankly, I'm happy that I managed to do that. I am also happy that we do have a few men over here. Ideally, if I could move some men here to block this, but I don't think that is going to be possible. Though it's going to be interesting to see what the enemy does here. I can move a little bit forward. I'll move over here just to dissuade that unit from moving. Okay. Just going to make sure that everybody is a-okay. Seems so. We do have our rail builders over here. Or engineers, sorry. Engineers, eyes and ears. We have cut off Brest-Litovsk. I probably could have gone a little bit harder on Brest-Litovsk and probably taken it. What I should have done really is go around here, block it off, and then surround it completely. And then we could have routed them in time. Ah well, we'll see how we get on then, shan't we? I could do with security forces being moved up, actually. Right, so these security forces are under this command. That is good to know. Very, very good to know indeed. Let's see. They don't have that much of a movement range, so I should begin to move them already. We are going to need them in different locations, but namely, Riga, the larger cities. Though with these being divisions, we can split them up into smaller groups. We can split them into 3 smaller groups, which is going to be very, very helpful in the future. Excuse me. We'll have to assign them to the different commands over time, however. Okay. I'm just checking if we have any allied forces that are activated for the time being. Does not seem like that is a true statement, so no problem. Okay. And what we'll do now is we'll run the turn then, shan't we? Let's see how this goes then. It's going to be interesting. Actually, no, I do need to move some other things first. Such as the security forces. That's a definite. Okay, so I do have a security command over here. We'll have that moved over here. What is the range on this? Is it 5 hexes? More than likely. We'll bring you down here. There's no real major cities over here for us to worry about. There we go, headquarters and in location. We do have a number of airfields here, but I'll leave them as they are for the time being. Okay, another good security. This one can head towards Minsk in time. I don't know if we'll be able to take Minsk next turn. We could probably force the issue by using our panzers, which is probably a wise idea. The last thing we want to do is keep on driving forward into the Soviet Union. Without the infantry, we're going to be just effed. So frankly, we're going to wait and advance with infantry units rather than ahead of them, really. So, I'll have you attached to the 9th Army. There we go, 9th Army. Boom, bada boom. Move the 9th Army command up. There we go. Okay. These men could move a little bit further, so I'll do that then. There we go. So we'll have you assigned to the 18th Army. 18th Army there, reinforcing Army Group North a little bit more. These troops probably could have been sent to Army Group South over here. Army Group South does lack in panzers to an extent, but we will have the Romanians to help us down here soon. The Romanians and the Hungarians, Slovakians, Italian forces, possibly Bulgarian forces. So we will have manpower. We do need to focus on, frankly, taking Leningrad. Once we do take Leningrad, or at least have Leningrad in a good position, then we can begin to try to pressure Moscow. And everything in the south is mainly industrial targets. Obviously there's a hell of a lot that we need to take over here, like Kiev and Kharkov. But all of that will come in time. So, let's go ahead then. And end the turn. Our first turn, let's see how it goes. I think we managed to inflict a decent number of losses on the Soviets. We have already captured 130-odd thousand of them, so hopefully we can pick up a good couple 100,000 more in the turn to come. I don't know how likely it is for my pockets to hold. I don't think all of the pockets will hold. I just need the Romanian pocket to hold, or the Romanian Hungarian pocket. Excuse me. Brest-Litovsk is a safe one. We do have this one around these forces in Minsk, or at least Poland, sorry. That one's fairly certain. Okay, they're pulling back. They are being interdicted by fighters and bombers. That's good news then. Also seen a general withdrawal, which is what the Soviets will do for a good amount of time. They will just keep on withdrawing. Right, seems like this is safe for the time being. I may have spoken too soon, but I will hope. It would be a shame to lose this supply corridor, but I'm happy that I took Riga. Okay, Minsk. I'm gonna have to do some reconnaissance flights over here. We can see the vast amount of these Soviet forces are over here, so we can push it with these infantry. We'll surround Minsk with the armoured and motorised forces, along with the mechanized that are embedded in the panzer units. And then we could try to take Minsk in the second turn. Taking Minsk turn 2 will be a nice objective. From Minsk we can start to build up a logistics base. We'll have to allow our logistics to catch up, namely our infantry as well. Okay. Overall, a bloodless turn for the German army, for the Wehrmacht. Not so for the Russian army, for the Red Army. Okay. So, in total we lost 24,483 men. That is a lot of men, a lot of those would have been lost to, yes, a lot of them were disabled. We gained 24 back. The Soviets only gained 42 back, so that's not bad. Oh wow, apparently 259,780 losses. 2,596 guns, 1,269 armoured fighting vehicles. Good news. Right, air losses. 3,394. Now, the thing is, they're going to lose more planes. Now, what happens is basically, these airfields over here, for example, if there is an enemy unit within, I don't know, 1 hex of it, it will retreat and move away. Now, if these aircraft over here had been damaged, let's see, I need to find a airfield with a damaged squadron. Not so easy to find, apparently. Oh, hello, what do we have here? HS-126B. Ah, reconnaissance aircraft. I was thinking of the HS, is it 129? Basically the duck-nosed aircraft with the cannon. That thing was awesome. Well, anyway, we'll take a look at this then. So we have some fighter bombers. But yes, so if there was some damaged airframes in here, if the airfield was forced to move, well, forced to flee, those damaged airframes would be left and basically destroyed. So that's what happens when you move airfields. Okay, so wow, this actually did hold. That's incredible. Now, I do wish we could have held this too, but hey, not bad. We do have our infantry that are able to push on up quite easily. Minsk, I don't know, but I'm glad this held. This has held as well. That's good news. Very, very good news. And oh wow, okay. Superb. Yep, so it seems like every pocket has held on the first turn. That is a good result. I was not expecting something like that, so that's really, really nice to... well, it's a really nice start for us. We do obviously have the Romanian forces, so we can begin to sweep aside the Soviet forces that have been cut off. So what we'll do here is take a look at this. So every unit in red has been isolated from supply. Not the greatest amount of Soviets I could potentially have cut off from supply, but not a bad amount either. Ah, so we have construction battalions. Now these guys are automatically deployed. I do believe you can somewhat take control of them. I can't remember how, but I'm sure you can kinda guide them as to where to go. I can't remember how you do it. Okay. Right, our vehicle pool here has been dropped considerably due to the fact that we have panzer units far ahead of the main line. But that's not bad. Okay. So, we're going to start off with some reconnaissance. And let's see what we find here. And again. Okay, so we can see a concentration of Soviet strength over here and here. Obviously this is a pocketed army, practically. And we're seeing a lot of Soviet forces over here. So they are falling back quite considerably. Though the amount of men in here will hurt them for a time being, it's almost certain that those men are always lost anyway. Now I'm really curious as to see whether this is actually held or not. I can't imagine it not being held. But you know, I really do hold out hope. If that's not defended, then that's a really nice target. Really nice. Okay. So, the job of the 4th Army is to finish off this pocket. The infantry over here of the 2nd Panzer Group will move on up and take the fight to the enemy. Okay. Now we do have these forces here as well of the 9th Army. The 9th Army is quite large. Army Group North in general is quite large. It seems like they've abandoned this over here. That's another good city to take there. So we'll start from the far north then, shan't we? We do need to take these ports and we do need to sweep aside the Soviet resistance over here. But that will not take much. At least I don't imagine it will take much. Right, it seems there is a unit over here. So we'll advance. Yep, there's a unit. Okay. Now these forces aren't cut off due to the fact that they do have the ports over there. So we will have to take this as it comes. Okay, 18 morale. Okay, they routed. Over here. We have rifle and fortified. I will send a 2nd unit to help them. Okay. I'll actually send a 3rd unit over here as well. Might as well. In fact, I'll go over here just to isolate them from supply and cut them off from reinforcement. Is there only you with the ability to attack fully? Seems so. Okay. They retreated, and 1 unit surrendered. They have routed, but we have secured the port over here. That is good. Okay. Good news. Now I'm going to leave the job of cleaning up forces in Latvia to this core. We don't need that many men. We certainly don't need these men being thrown into that task either. So we can frankly move on up. We can relieve the panzers at Riga. So what do we have here? So we have 3 divisions under the command. That's good. Do I want to move these men up to Riga? I think I should probably do that, but I don't think we have to advance directly into Riga. We could of course advance up this way. That is true. We have another 3 divisions here. So we'll start with the ones from the rear. Move up, see what we can find. And you. We'll capture the town here. Okay, we captured the town. There's a little bit of supply there. That's decent enough. I do apologize for me talking all like blah. It's mostly because it's kind of late. Okay. I will not throw them into that battle, as I would... Then again, I could probably do it, but they don't have the movement points anyway, so it's a mute point. But I don't want to just throw them into battles. I'd rather have them win the battles and gain more morale than lose it pointlessly. Okay, both divisions. Okay, they have been forced retreat. Can't move. Can't move. Okay. That keeps them happy. Which command are you under? You are under L Corps. I mean, what I would like to do at some point is I'd like to go through all of these corps and basically rename them to something that would be easier for me to remember. But then again, that wouldn't be historical. I'd like to keep that... that historical accuracy. I do think it's rather nice, and it's always a good detail. Alright, have these forces catch up. We do have the SS. Move up over here. There we go. Supply is happy. Move from the furthest away. And she's about over here. What we should try to do is try to spread them out about 1 hex wide. At least in that fashion we do take more territory. There we go. I'm very glad that this corridor held. That makes things a hell of a lot easier. There we go. Now Riga. Yes, the port is being repaired. That's very good. Very good indeed. We can see here Panzers, 96% fuel. What I'd like to do is try and fly some fuel out there. That would be good. Let's see. Telenin. Effectively, what we need to do is reach Telenin and Pskov. Though what I will do is, let's see, the 18th Army. The role of the 18th Army will be to sweep through Estonia and Latvia and head up this way. We will of course need Telenin. These are ports as well. There is one here, another one here I think, and then maybe one here, and possibly another one on the island. We'll need those ports and to drive out those Soviets behind our lines. But the Panzergruppen their role will be different. From Riga, I'd like them to sweep towards Pskov. Now, sweeping towards Pskov is going to be more difficult due to the nature of the conflict over here. But we do have the other elements of the 18th Army. The other elements of the 18th Army will have a general advance towards Pskov from this direction as well. So, what we have here is the 18th working side by side with the Panzergruppen. We do have the forces down here as well. These men will basically support from the south. This army has a more interesting role. Of course they are to push forwards, but they are to destroy this pocket as well, and to also form the anchor for Army Group North in the south here. Though they will... Well, they are Army Group... It's kind of like North and Centre. I believe they are assigned to Army Group Centre. Yes, they are Army Group Centre. So, Army Group Centre's role is rather interesting. The fact that we do have to take into consideration is the marshes over here. There's a lot of marshland. That's terrible terrain, and frankly I just want to avoid that completely. That's going to mean that we are going to separate the army to some extent, like that, with the Army Group Centre. Which is going to be odd. But it's not too bad. What we could potentially do is start to work this army up to the north and then the second army down here to the south and have them support each other. Well, support the other army groups of north and south and spread all those resources. Though the Panzergruppen, I don't know. Perhaps we send this second Panzer group south. But I think what I'd like to do is perhaps advance towards Minsk in this direction, and then sweep down from the north over here. That would allow us to come around behind Kiev, try to reach Kharkov, Stalingrad, all those great cities in the south there. It will also keep the Soviets off balance as they have to try and form a solid front line here, but they are being outflanked over here in the north. At least those are my initial thoughts. Those ideas will undoubtedly change, though we do have more elements of the Panzer group down here. Indeed. First Panzer group. Now, we'll move all our infantry first before we even move on to panzers. There's a lot to be done here. I am curious about this, very curious. I suppose what we could do is advance just one hex. And it seems that Minsk is actually undefended. Well, there we go. Taking Minsk turn 2. Very nice. Very, very nice. So notice the fact that we do have fuel enough to reach Mogilev, but that would be, that would be somewhat insane. We do have fantastic mobility here. We're in a very interesting position. But the thing is, if we advance too far, then we leave ourselves well and truly cut off from our supporting forces. And once the Soviets start forming in lines like this, like they are doing over here by Pskov, then we're going to face difficulties. Large amounts of difficulties. I think what we are going to do here... See, we could reach Tallinn. I am somewhat tempted to do that. I am somewhat tempted. Right, we're being intercepted over here. So that leads me to believe there is Soviet forces over here. I am debating whether I do a HQ build-up. Now what that is basically, see, we go over here, HQ build-up. So it costs us a large amount of administration points. If this would affect 2 combat units. But basically, see, we have all this fuel here, the actual HQ unit. We can actually put that fuel into the Panzer divisions, though they cannot move for that turn. I don't know if I would like to do that turn too. You really have to try and choose when you do that. It's a difficult, difficult choice. Indeed. I reckon we could probably try to fly some fuel out here. Yep, there we go, 31 tons of fuel. 12 tons of fuel. No aircraft are available. Ah, 16 tons. None available. Seems we have none available. But just with that, we've managed to get another 60 so tons of fuel into these divisions. Which is very, very good. That's going to pay off in the long run. Now we still have the movement, though we have lost a decent amount. But that's not bad. The thing is we're refueling. I could potentially stay here and do a HQ build-up. Can I still pull that off? I can still pull that off, so that's 2 units there. 4. And we'd have to move up the other HQ. But that's how that could be done. Now I do have my engineers, so I'm going to repair these rails, or at least convert the gauge of these rails, and move on up. Like so. There we go, can't move any further now. But if we take a look over here, we can see that we have converted these rails. That's very nice. Yep, and over here too. And of course down here in the south, though nowhere near as much. But we are getting there. We are getting there. Okay, now we'll start to move up this army group. Move the mighty 16th. Why does it want me to go around here? Ah, the marshes sea. Very, very bad. Ah, bloody hell, I need to keep them with their cores. See, now we can move up quite a bit further. We'll move up over here then, past Vilnius, so we can hold on to it. What do we have here? We have an anti-tank artillery brigade, rifle and motorized, don't know what that is, but we can hit that anti-tank and shatter it. At least that removes some firepower from the Soviets. Okay. Move up over here. Right, there we go. What I could potentially do, actually, is I could potentially move motorized. I could try to cut off these forces over here, which is doable, though I do not know if I want to waste that time, so to say. Yeah. It's an interesting thing to think about. I should also move my headquarters over here to the rails. We want to have you right on the rails. You right here. Now this is equipped with reconnaissance. Yeah, reconnaissance. BF 110s. Some Focke Wolves. I think that's a Focke Wolf. No. This is reconnaissance. Though we could still do it. Interesting. Right, so I'd love to know what you guys think. Should I do a HQ build-up over here, or should I not? Should I advance forwards? So, until next time guys, thank you so very much for watching, I hope you have enjoyed this, and goodbye for now.